everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you are new. This video is going to be Elliana's 4-month update. So she will actually be 5 months here in just a few days, and she has changed quite a bit this month, probably more so than any other month. So I will be sharing with you some of the milestones that she has reached, what size she's in, and all of those fun things, as well as how breastfeeding is going, how sleeping is going, etc. All right, let's go to Daddy. All right, so Elliana is around 14.4 pounds. So she hasn't gained a whole lot of weight this month. I feel like she went through a huge growth spurt during the 3-month period, and now she's just been kind of chilling out this month a little bit. However, I feel like she's gotten longer. I honestly haven't measured her length this month, but last month she was 25 inches long. I can probably bet that she's a little bit longer than that this month as well. So she has now moved into 3 to 6 month clothing. However, they are all still a little bit big on her, especially in the shoulder area, but she is just more comfortable, I think, in that size clothing. She has also started wearing size 2 diapers. We do have a few size 1s that she is kind of finishing up wearing, so like a few in her diaper bag, and she can still fit in those, but again, the size 2 is a little bit more comfortable. They are still big on her, but they work just fine. So she has met a lot of milestones this month, which has been super exciting to see. So instead of saving those for the end of the video, I'm actually going to start with those today. So one of the most exciting things that she has been doing this month is she has really started rolling over. Now, she did roll over one time last month, and we think it was accidental. We don't think she actually was trying to do it. Whereas this month, it seems like she is being more intentional. She'll reach for toys and kind of roll that way. And she's also been rolling from tummy to back and back to tummy. So she is rolling more. She doesn't do it every time we put her on our mat, but she does it pretty frequently. So I'm excited to see how that kind of evolves this next month as well. Another huge milestone that she has reached this month is that she has really started to reach for and grasp things. I mean everything, literally everything. So my hair, toys, if we have a drink in our hand, she'll quickly reach out and try to grab that, or if I'm eating something, she'll try to grab that. So she tries to reach for things and grab everything, and she tries to put everything in her mouth as well. So if it's her toys or teethers, of course, we allow her to put that in her mouth, but we really have to watch her. Like if we are, like I said, eating something, she is so quick to try to grab that and bring it towards her mouth. You know, we have to be careful because she can get that so quickly. And that is something that she wasn't doing last month. So last month, like I said, her hands were just kind of up here more in her mouth area and just very close and tight to her body. And now she's really started to expand her reach. Literally. So she has made some great strides in that area as well. Speaking of kind of expanding and reaching out, she has found her toes this month, and she is able to bring those to her mouth, and she actually sucks on her toes now, which is something new. And oh my gosh, it was so cute the first time that I saw this. I actually caught it on camera because I saw that she was trying to do this in the car one day, and I was like, oh, it's gonna happen, and it didn't. Well, then we were at home and we were playing her little piano where she kicks, and she was doing the same thing. And so I had my phone here and I quickly grabbed it and I went ahead and filmed her, and she put her toes in her mouth, and it was so cute. I loved it. So I will insert that clip here for you.
Oh. Whoa, you got it! Oh yeah?
She also is just very active. She constantly just moves her arms and legs, and she just wants to be moving a lot of the time. So whether that is in her rock and play or on her mat or just anywhere, she loves to move around. She has become very, very vocal. been vocal for a few months now, but she squeals and squeaks and it is so funny and I just love it, especially when she has any kind of teethers in her mouth, which she loves. She loves the little rainbow loopy ball that we got for her from Walmart. She just can really grasp that and hold on to that really well. And it's nice and soft for her to put in her mouth and use as a teether. She also really likes her keys. Those are one of her favorite toys, if not her favorite. And again, she just really likes to chew on those. We have started putting her in bibs occasionally just to catch any of that drool. And she really likes the teether bibs. So my mom got her this really cute one with arrows on it and it has the little teether at the bottom. And she just likes to put that in her mouth and chew on that while she's wearing that bib. This month, she has started responding to her name. So if we say Elliana, Elliana, if we call her by her name, she will actually respond to us by looking at us when we say her name. So that has been really, really fun. We have also been working with her on sitting up. Now she can't sit up by herself yet, but we have been using the boppy pillow to kind of help her strengthen her core. So she will kind of lean back in the boppy pillow and chew on her teether, and then she's able to kind of pull herself up using her core strength, which is great. So she is developing that core strength, which we want her to do. And, you know, I just will kind of pull her up to sit her up so that she can look around, and I kind of let her wobble around a little bit just so that she can learn how to balance herself. So we've been working on that, but again, she's not there quite yet, but I'm pretty confident that she'll be able to start sitting for a few minutes on her own at least, probably within the next month or so. So we'll just have to see. She really likes her Fisher-Price Sit Me Up as well, and we don't keep her in there too long, but she just loves to be able to sit up and look around and watch what we're doing. We do the same thing with her high chair when we're in the kitchen. She just loves, honestly, to be propped up and just to be able to see everything and what's going on around her. And then something else this month that I consider to be a milestone, I guess it's more for me than for her, but we did leave her in someone else's care other than our family for the first time, and it was kind of nerve-wracking, but I decided that it would be the best place to try it at our church, so that's what we did. We ended up taking her to the church nursery for the first time, and they start taking children when they are 6 weeks old, but she's almost 5 months, so I felt comfortable in that setting because they have a lot of security measures in place there, and it's a church and it's somewhere that I feel comfortable with leaving her. And with those people in particular, I felt very comfortable. Everything was clean. I felt that it was a very safe environment. And so we did take her there for the first time last weekend, actually. And I actually got so choked up and teared up. As we were going in to actually hear the service, I had to look down because there are greeters there who welcome you. And I was like, I didn't want to start bawling after I dropped her off because I was so just heartbroken that I had to leave her in someone else's care, but it ended up working out really, really well. She did great in there. They had no issues and she did fine without us, which kind of made me sad too, that she didn't need me, I guess. But for me, that was a huge milestone this month because I wasn't honestly planning on taking her anywhere like the gym daycare or church daycare or anything like that until she was at least 6 months old. And that was truly my plan. And then I was like, you know what? I think that she is mature enough and I feel safe and comfortable with this and, you know, enough to where I can go ahead and take her now. I haven't been brave enough to take her to the gym childcare yet, but I'm okay with the church one now. And also, there were only 2 babies in there while she was in there. So for me, that is perfect because there were 3 workers. The ratio is great. It's very calm and peaceful in there. And so I know that she will be looked after and cared for. So anyway, that is just a huge thing that happened this month. All right, so now we're gonna move on to breastfeeding. I'm still breastfeeding her and she is kind of going longer between feedings now because she is napping longer, which is amazing, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But breastfeeding is going well. I have found that the lactation energy balls or the booby bites that I made in my lactation recipes video, those are the best thing for my milk supply as far as like food goes, you know, in addition to obviously pumping more and staying hydrated. So of course, gotta have my lovely famous water cup. But I love those things. They really help to just boost my milk supply when I'm feeling a little low. And yeah, breastfeeding's going well. I will say though that we have had a couple of issues this month. The first one is the fact that she started kind of biting a little bit, which I was a little nervous. It didn't last very long. It only lasted a couple of days, thank goodness, but it did make me nervous because it doesn't feel good, and I thought that she was going to continue to do that. That hurt really bad. So she would kind of clamp down with her gums and pull away, and it's cringy. Just thinking about it. But so that was one of the issues, and I think the reason that she was doing that is because she was kind of trying to get more milk out, and that was while I was on my period. And yes, I have been getting my period almost every month since she's been born. I have had it 3 out of the 4 months since she has been born. And I will talk more about that in my 6-month postpartum update. I will do a 6-month update for you guys and talk about all of the things that have happened postpartum wise over these past 6 months. But that is one of the things, is I have had my period, but what I've noticed is that my milk supply actually goes down while I'm on my period. So that was happening at that time. So I will come back to that in just a moment because I want to talk about another issue that we've kind of had this month as far as eating or feeding goes. So when she was about a month old, we introduced the bottle, and we fed her from a variety of different bottles. We used the Komotomo bottles, we used the Philips Avent, the MAM, just a bunch of different ones that we received like for our shower or as free samples. And yeah, so she would take any of those bottles. There was no nipple confusion. She just would take any of those, and it was no problem. So once I started to go through my milk supply in the freezer really, really quickly, the stash that I had built up, because we were giving her a bottle every night before bed, we quickly realized that I wasn't pumping enough to maintain my stash, and she was using up all of that milk. So we took a break from bottle feeding her so that it would give me time to pump more again and to build my stash back up. And the reason we had really been bottle feeding her so often was because, number one, it was helping her sleep through the night, and number two, it was giving me some freedom. So I was able to make a grocery run or, go to a hair appointment without having to worry about her not having the opportunity to be fed or to eat. So Chaz was able to be here and feed her the bottle when I was gone. So it was nice to be able to have the freedom, but like I said, we were really mainly using it for bedtime. So anyway, as I was pumping and building up my stash, I was just like, I'm just gonna breastfeed her. Let's not do the bottles for a while, and let's just see how it goes. So a couple of things happened during that time. She stopped sleeping through the night, so that told us that the bottles were helping her maybe to stay fuller longer throughout the night and help her sleep better. So we'll get to sleep again in just a minute, but that stopped happening, so she's not sleeping through the night. And then another thing we didn't realize was that she was actually going to eventually turn down the bottle. So this month she did turn down almost all of the bottles. You guys, we really, really struggled. There was one night where we were like, you know what, let's try a bottle because she hasn't been sleeping through the night anymore, and this is getting really, really exhausting. I mean, she's been waking up 2 or 3 times during the nighttime, and it's been really, really hard. I don't know if it's the 4-month sleep regression or what, but it has been very, very difficult. We are very sleep deprived these days, more so than when she was a newborn, to be honest. And so we were like, hey, let's give her this bottle and see if it makes a difference. Well, she would not take it. She screamed and cried, and it just was not good. So eventually it took us, at least a few nights to figure out what was going on and what bottle she would take. Finally, she took the MAM bottle, and it has more of a flatter nipple, and for some reason she wouldn't take it really that much at the beginning, but then all of a sudden she took it no problem, and it was such a game changer and a lifesaver, and I just was so incredibly grateful. So from then on, we started feeding her the bottle every night before bed again. However, it did not affect her sleep at all. She has still not been sleeping through the night at all. The good news is that she now will take a bottle, but that is the only one that she will take. She doesn't take a pacifier anymore unless it's the MAM pacifier as well, but she doesn't really suck on it. She'll just chew on it a little bit unless she's really, really, really tired. Then she'll actually take it. So those are the only ones that she will take, is the MAM brand. She won't take anything else, and we have tried so many different ones. Again, I am so grateful that she will now take a bottle because I could not imagine just going through the next year and a half pretty much without being able to leave her side or leave the house. I cannot imagine that because I'm a very independent person, and of course I want to snuggle my sweet girl all the time. However, I do want to be able to leave the house if I need to and just have a little bit of that me time. And it's also just a great way for Chaz to bond with her as well. Same with grandparents. They love being able to feed her and just be able to bond with her. So that was very important to us. But now I'm going to go back to where I was talking about the biting. So ever since she has started taking that MAM bottle, she has now seemed to prefer that over the breast. Now, of course, during the morning times, I have a very heavy milk flow, I guess, a very fast letdown, and she gets a lot of milk very quickly, very similar to the bottle. However, later in the day, my milk supply isn't as high, and so there's not as much milk and it doesn't come out as quickly. So when I do let down, she gets all of that foremilk first, and then by the time she gets to the hind milk, where she really has to kind of work for it, she doesn't want to work for it. And it's that thicker milk with the nutrients that she really needs. She needs that fatty milk. And because it doesn't come out as quickly as the foremilk, she started to get frustrated, and that's kind of where she started biting and pulling and just really started to get a little restless and just upset. So in that regard, she wasn't draining me because I couldn't really take it any longer. I'm just like, okay, we're gonna stop and we'll try in a little bit. Or I would switch breasts, which you're not supposed to do because then they don't drain you, and then you ultimately lose your milk supply. Your milk supply goes down because your breasts aren't being completely drained, so your body doesn't know to produce more milk. So if I wasn't pumping, and I haven't been great about it, to be honest, because I just don't honestly like pumping. I just don't know if it's because my bra isn't comfy, or, you know, if I am by myself, I have to make sure that she's doing okay so I can take the time to pump. And I don't know, it's kind of a pain in my opinion. I just don't really like it, but I have to do it. Otherwise, she doesn't drain me completely, and then my milk supply will go down. So I have to in order to maintain my supply. But that is why I think she was kind of getting frustrated there for a little while, because she was getting so used to the bottle nipple, you know, the milk coming out so quickly, that she was starting to favor that over my breast. So luckily we're back on track now because my milk supply is really good at this moment, but you know, it does fluctuate, and when it goes down a little bit, she gets a little frustrated, and then when it goes back up, then she's good to go. So it has kind of been a roller coaster ride this month with breastfeeding, but we're still managing, and I love being able to breastfeed her. I don't want to stop breastfeeding her for a long time if I can help it. So we'll just see how that goes. All right, so now we're gonna move on to sleeping. So like I mentioned earlier, she is taking really good naps now. Her naps last anywhere between, I would say, an hour and a half to 4 hours, and that is usually her morning nap. She takes a really long morning nap, which is so nice because I work best in the mornings. So as soon as she goes down for her first nap, which is about an hour and a half to 2 hours after she wakes up for the day, she goes down and I'm able to get so much done during that time frame. And then once she wakes up, she's up for a couple of hours, and then she'll go back down for her second nap. And then her third nap of the day is around, I would say, 30 to 45 minutes in the evening before she goes down for the night. So it has been really, really wonderful to just be able to get stuff done around the house while she's sleeping during the day. I can actually have time to get ready and just take a little time for myself and catch up on some things, emails, and just, you know, anything, editing for you guys. So it's been really, really great. However, now she is not sleeping through the night anymore. So it's kind of flip-flopped. Before she was kind of catnapping and then sleeping through the night, and now she's taking really great naps, but she's not sleeping through the night. I don't know if it's because she's hungry, or it's because of the 4-month sleep regression, or it could be due to teething. I just don't know. So when we went to her 4-month appointment, her pediatrician said that she is teething, but that we wouldn't see teeth sprout for a couple of months probably. But she said she is in the beginning stages of teething. She also told us to start giving her rice cereal. Now this is something that I have read a lot about, and we haven't given it to her yet, even though her pediatrician did recommend it. She said that a lot of people are skeptical and they don't really listen to her when she says to give them rice cereal. And she says the reason to give them rice cereal is because they need the iron, because by the time 4 months rolls around, their iron levels have gone down, and so you need to supplement with iron fortified rice cereal. So that was the reasoning behind that, what she said. The reason that I bring that up is because in my opinion, it has to do with sleep, because I have always heard that giving babies rice cereal helps them sleep better throughout the night. However, after doing a lot of reading online, I have seen that that is not the case, that, you know, it's just a myth that it helps babies sleep through the night. So for that reason, obviously I haven't tried it yet. Another reason is because I have read that rice cereal doesn't have any nutritional value, and it actually can contain high levels of arsenic. So eek, that just scared me, and I didn't know if I even wanted to pursue that any further after I read that. Then I found out about oatmeal cereal, which is a little heavier, I guess, and it is iron fortified as well, and it has a higher nutritional value. So it's obviously oats, it has antioxidants, and so it just has more of those vitamins and nutrients that babies need. So I did end up purchasing that, but we haven't given it to her at all yet, because I have also read, I know, Dr. Google tells me everything, but I have also read that you are supposed to wait until babies are 6 months old to introduce solid foods. I also wanted her first solid foods to be fruits or vegetables, so something like avocados or sweet potatoes, or, I mean, of course I would do my research and see what the best foods are, but I really didn't want rice cereal or oatmeal cereal to be her first solid food if it didn't have to be, if that makes sense. And please don't think that I am judging in any way. These are just based on things that I have read. I mean, for our generation, I mean, our parents probably gave us all rice cereal and we turned out okay, right? A lot of moms say that it does help their babies sleep through the night. However, I don't know if her not sleeping through the night, again, is just a developmental thing that I should just let take its course. So actually, what I'm asking for is your advice or your suggestions or just your experience. What have you guys done with your little ones that have worked? I just don't know what to do. Like I said, I haven't given her anything yet, but you guys, I'm almost desperate for a night of sleep because it has been so difficult this past month with sleep, and it's just been really, really hard. I don't know if she's waking up in the night hungry, which is why we considered giving that to her, even though I know I'm kind of going against what my pediatrician said to do, and I know she needs the iron. And so I guess my other question is, if you guys didn't give your babies that at 4 months, what did you do to supplement their iron from 4 to 6 months before you can start giving them actual fruits and veggies or solid foods? So anyway, I am open to suggestions. I'm a first-time mom, so bring it on. I am so, so thankful and grateful for all of you out there, all of you who are supportive and loving on this channel, and you guys are just such an awesome community of women who support each other, and I appreciate you sharing your experiences with not just me, but with all of the other mommies here. So please drop it down in the comments what you suggest or what your advice is, or just what you have experienced with your little ones. All right, so moving on with sleeping, we have been putting her to bed anywhere between 7 to 8 o'clock at night. So our pediatrician recommended that we start sleep training. And I know this is a very controversial thing. We are not doing the cry it out method with her, and we have started to read a couple of different baby sleep training books, but you know, there's so many different things out there, again, that I just don't know which one is the best for us. So right now we've been trying to lay her down, we walk away, and then if she starts to cry, we've been going in there, consoling her and soothing her, and then walking back out, and then giving her a few minutes, going back in, checking on her, soothing her, walking back out. You know, that's kind of what we've been doing. But last night, I think it took her 2 hours to fall asleep with us doing that, and it just was not working. We've tried taking out her newborn insert in her bassinet to just kind of give her some more space because she was getting too big for that. We have tried her in the pack and play in our room because it has a softer mattress than her bassinet, and we thought that that would be a good way to transition her eventually to her crib here in about a month or so, because she'll kind of get used to that space. Now she is still napping in her dock in her crib during the day, but that's because I can watch her on the baby monitor and make sure that her face isn't in the sides. So we don't put her in this at night, and we want her to get used to having all of this space so that when she does move to her crib and the dock isn't there, then, you know, she she's used to it and she won't think anything of it. Again, if you guys have any suggestions or advice, I am open to them. Of course, please keep everything positive and uplifting and encouraging. Again, not just for me, but for all of the mommies out here who may be struggling as well with this. Any tips or advice is welcome. I have looked into taking care of babies, but the package is just kind of pricey, and I just want to make sure that that is something that actually works before I go ahead and spend that kind of money on that program. So I haven't done that yet. Right now we are reading Baby Wise, and then I had a friend recommend the Healthy Sleep Habits Happy Child book, but I believe that has to do with the Cry It Out method, so we would probably not follow that exactly because I really don't want to do that if I don't have to. So anyway, just let me know down below what your thoughts are and if you have anything that worked for you and your littles. Really quick before I move on, I do want to say that I believe the whole issue with it right now, with us laying her down at night, is that now she's mature enough to realize that I'm not nursing her to sleep and that it is bedtime. So unfortunately, I think I nursed her to sleep too often while she was younger, and now she expects that. And she won't fall asleep with a bottle. So we've been trying not to nurse her to sleep. But last night, like I said, it took her 2 hours to fall asleep. And we, of course, kept going in there and checking on her and soothing her. And we did pick her up a few times, which I've heard, you know, some people say that's okay and some people don't. And I don't know. We basically are trying everything. And I think on our part, you know, we need to be more consistent with something. We just need to pick something and stick with it. And we haven't done that. So we really need to figure that out this month because she really needs to start sleeping through the night again for her own health and growth and development, and for our sleep as well. We need to be able to sleep so that we are refreshed and rejuvenated and able to take care of her better as well. So you guys can tell that we've had a few more struggles this month than any other month so far. But on the flip side, she has also been such a happy and content baby during the day. She is not fussy. She is just such a sweet, sweet, happy girl, and we just play and laugh and smile all the time. She is giggling and laughing so much now, and it is just the best thing in the world. Ah, I just love it so much. So she is definitely still a happy baby. She just doesn't like to go to bed, and we were having some issues with feeding. So we are working on those things, but overall she has just been doing so well. She is getting so strong. She's able to hold her head up really well, and she pushes up all the way on her elbows and onto her arms while she's on her tummy during tummy time. That is actually how she is able to roll over, which has been really fun to see. I feel like she's really starting to develop a little personality as well. She's getting a little sassy, so I don't know who she gets that from. But it's been so much fun with her this month. She still looks just like Daddy, and she loves Daddy. Oh my goodness. Every time Chaz comes home from work, he'll walk in the door and he'll say, "Hey, Elliana," and she'll just look at him and she just gives him the biggest smile. Oh my gosh, it's the sweetest thing. So she loves him so, so much.
Elliana. That's fun.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this update. Again, any suggestions are welcome. Of course, please keep everything positive and uplifting. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for being on this journey with me. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.